Hola muchachos. So este video con los ojos de Carmen es el vocabulario común del libro. And the whole point of this video is to start that, the thought process of how we're going to be reading the novel. A lot of us, when we come across a word we don't know, we do two things. We totally shut down and don't even try to understand, or we go straight to a translator. And what I really want you guys to start focusing on is seeing if you can, one, understand the sentence without understanding certain words, as well as can you use the context clues that you have from the whole sentence or the paragraph to try to figure out what the word means. So kind of going through this process of really understanding that I can understand and I can read in Espanol without knowing every single word and having to translate it all word for word. So this is vocabulario común that you're going to see throughout the book in different forms. So I really want to focus on this with you so that as you're reading that these words, which are pretty important in context, don't stop you from continuing to read. Alright, so the first one is deber. And one way you're going to see this is with debía. Okay, so this is a sentence from the book. It says, mi mamá opinaba que yo debía dedicarme a lo que más me gustara. So let's say we don't know debía, which I don't know if you guys know. Other forms that you'll see it are going to be deben and debería. So these are all forms in which you'll see it in the book, but debía is the most common, okay? So we know mi mamá is my mom. Opinaba is a cognate. So like her opinion, okay? From opinar, which is to give an opinion. Que yo, so her opinion is that I, debía, let's skip it right now, dedicarme. So again, if we just look at that dedicar, dedicate is what it looks like, and me is me, a lo que más me gustara. So again, that, we know más is more, and we know gusta is I like. So far we know my mom's opinion is that I dedicate myself to what I like the most. So when you're looking at this debía, or from deber, when you say dedicarme, it's talking about a profession. So what you want to do, like in terms of your job. So her opinion is that I blank dedicate myself to what I like the most. So what do you think that would be? It is should. So her opinion is that I should dedicate myself or focus, work this profession, study to what I like the most. Okay, this is another one, and you'll see this many times throughout. And it's darse cuenta. So darse cuenta is the full verb in its original form, in its infinitive form. And there's two ways you're going to see it. Me di cuenta and se dio cuenta. So I want to kind of break this down a little bit. We know dar is to give, okay? And we know that se is talking about a person. So di is I gave and me is me, right? Dio is he or she gave and se is he or she. So we know who they're talking about based on the me and the se, but notice it's reflexive. So it's not lady, which is I gave him or her. It's me di, right? So I gave myself, okay? That's not exactly what this means in this context, but I want you to keep that in mind here. So you have me di cuenta que las facciones indígenas en la mayoría de las personas. Also, luego me di cuenta en realidad todos eran populares. So I want to look at this second one first. Luego we know is then. So then me di cuenta en realidad todos eran populares. Well, realidad is a cognate. Really or actually, and we know todos is all, eran, were, populares, popular. So later, blank, actually, everyone's popular. So, me di cuenta. What do you think that's going to mean? So let's look at the next one. So, se dio cuenta. So we know that's talking about another person. Again, luego, se dio cuenta que hacer eso fue muy tonto. Porque entonces yo iba a pensar que ella era cómplice del robo. So let's kind of ignore this after the porque. It's not that important. But again, later, something that doing that, fue muy tonto, was very stupid. So when you're looking at these, later, blank, really everyone was popular. Or later, blank, she realized that was dumb. Okay? So that darse cuenta is actually to realize. So here, I realized, right? Then I realized. Later she realized. Alright, gracias. Si yo encontré belleza por todas partes, por ejemplo, la gracia con la que se mueve una ardilla. So if we break this down, we know encontré in belleza, like bella or bonita. So encontré from encuentra is I found beauty por todas partes, everywhere. So we're talking about something that's beauty. Por ejemplo, la gracia con la que se mueve una ardilla. So let's skip gracia con la que se mueve. Se mueve, like moves, una ardilla. Es un animal. So we're talking about somehow the beauty of how an animal moves. And we're talking about movement that's beautiful. What do we call that? It's kind of a cognate here. So grace or graceful. Okay, recorrer. So this is the one where I put it as recomer on your sheet. So hopefully you guys fixed that. But recorrer. So en ese mismo instante, mi tío decidió que yo debía recorrer el centro histórico de la ciudad. En la ciudad de que hablas Quito. O yo decidí recorrer el mercado en busca de indígenas. We know correr is to run. But I don't think, right, in the same instant, mi tío decidió, Blanco decides, that I should run el centro histórico de Quito. I don't know what this is talking about. But when you are visiting a place, and you're going to go look at parts of it like a centro histórico, what do you call that? We don't call it running, right? Or when you go to a mercado, like a market, what do you call that? We don't call it running. So there are a lot of options here. Hopefully you guys talked about this in your group. But really it's kind of like to go all over. You know, so when he's talking about a centro histórico, it's about walking the whole city, seeing the whole thing. You know, walking here, it's walking the whole market. So to go all over, to walk it, to see it, to explore it, anything like that. All right, lindo. So lindo is a word that is super comun in Latino America. And you've seen this multiple times, or you've heard it, especially in songs. I just want to make sure that we really know, because it's used very frequently in the novel. So vi lo lindo que es Ecuador y me sentí pequeñito en la media inmensidad de las montañas. So I saw the blank that is Ecuador and I felt small in the middle of these enormous mountains. So this is more of a descriptive word, right? I saw the blank that is Ecuador. So what do you think this might be? Right, and the sinónimo en español is bonito, right? Saw the beauty or la belleza would be another option here. Okay. All right, indígena. So this is a word that we have used. We've talked about a little bit, especially with the documentary that you guys just watched, and then with our globe checker. So again, here's this me di cuenta, right? I realized. Me di cuenta de las facciones indígenas en la mayoría de las personas. Si bien es cierto que en el Ecuador hay una pequeña población negra y una población indígena, la gran parte de los ecuatorianos son mestizos. So, I realize las facciones indígenas en la mayoría de las personas. So this facciones is talking about like physical characteristics. Where we're really going to be able to break down indígena is the second part. And what I want to show you with this is sometimes the word, excuse me, that you might not know will come back to back, just like in this little párrafo that I have here. So if you keep reading, right, you have to read the sentence before or read the sentence after, and it might give you a better idea. So we have, si bien es cierto que en Ecuador hay una pequeña población negra y una población indígena. So we know here that he's talking about a población, right, a population. Población negra, we know negra is black. Okay, and población indígena. So now we know indígena is some type of group of people that's a small part of the population, which I would disagree that it's small, but that's okay. Pero la gran parte de los ecuatorianos son mestizo. And he'll go on to explain what's a mestizo in the book. So we know we're talking about three types of people in the population: negra, indígena, y mestizo. And based on what we know about Ecuador, the documentary that you watched and the globe tracker, this is almost a cognate. You could replace indígena with nativa, which should then give you the idea of what this means. And this does mean indigenous. Okay? All right. Dos más. So we have volver. Tengo que volver a mi casa pronto. Pero cuando por fin volví al restaurante donde estaban Carlos, mi prima y mi tía, vi que todos tenían las caras largas. So tengo que volver a mi casa pronto, or cuando por fin volví al restaurante. All right. We know tengo is I have, so I have to blink to my house soon. Or when finally I blink at the restaurant where they were. So what do you think this might be? I have to blink to my house soon. What do we say there? I have to return to my house soon. All right, and then parece, okay? Or it could be parece, right? Or parece. So le parece, we know is it like to the other person, to he or she. And me parece is to me. So a él, and here he's talking about mi papá. A él le parecía un desperdicio que un chico que tenía tan buenas calificaciones como yo sea un simple fotógrafo. So if we break this down, so to my dad, blank, we'll skip un desperdicio. So we know it's something about this, that a boy with such good grades, like me, would be just a simple fotógrafo, like a simple photographer. Or me parece. También compramos queso de hoja, que es un queso que tiene un sabor muy parecido al queso mozzarella, pero a mí me parece 1000 veces más rico. So we also bought queso de hoja. We know queso is cheese, right? De hoja. Que es un queso que tiene un sabor muy parecido al queso mozzarella. So now we have a comparison. So what do you think he's saying about this queso de hoja? What's the sabor? Right? It's very similar in taste. Pero a mí me parece 1000 veces más rico. But for me, it's something 1000 veces, 1000 times más rico, more delicious. So when you're looking at these two, my dad, to my dad, blank, kind of a loss, I guess we will call this a loss, that I would just be a simple photographer. Or here, oh, this cheese to me, blank, is 1000 times better. What do you think? So, parece is kind of like to appear or to seem, right? So to my dad, you know, it seems to him, or he feels that. Or, but to me, this seems, or this appears, or this is 1000 times richer. Or, like, more delicious. So that's kind of the thought process I want you guys going through with this. So once you finish this up, please go ahead and in your grupos, escriben una frase con el vocabulario. And then, if you still finish that documentary, you can, or you might have some extra time. All right? Any preguntas me dicen. Adiós.